Europe is stuck in Brussels arguing over money, but the real fight isn't about Belgium or legal fine print. It's about Donald Trump and whether the European Union can still act as one under American pressure. This week, EU summit won't just decide Ukraine's funding, it could decide Europe's credibility as a geopolitical actor. At the center of the dispute is 210 billion euros in Russian assets frozen since Moscow invaded Ukraine. Most EU governments want to use the interest and potentially the principal from those assets to help Ukraine plug a 71.7 billion budget shortfall in 2026. According to Ukrainian Finance Ministry figures, without fresh funding by April, Kiev may be forced to cut public sector wages, pensions, and military logistics. But Belgium has blocked the plan, warning that if courts later rule against the seizure, Belgian taxpayers could face legal and financial liability. Since most of the frozen assets sit on Belgian soil, its approval is critical. But here's the twist. Belgium didn't suddenly become more cautious. The pressure came from Washington. According to EU officials, the Trump administration has quietly lobbied friendly European capitals to reject the plan. Instead of working through Brussels, US officials back-channeled directly with national governments. The result? Countries like Italy, Bulgaria, Malta, and Czechia joined the group opposing the deal. What began as a legal debate hardened into geopolitical split. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz warned that the failure would severely damage the EU for years. A cash-strapped Ukraine would enter any peace talks with a weakened hand vulnerable to pressure to accept territorial losses. Meanwhile, a leaked draft peace plan reportedly backed by Washington and Moscow suggests using Russian assets for US-led reconstruction, not Ukrainian control. France and several EU states are pushing instead for a Europe-first defense and arms procurement strategy. If Europe fails here, it sends a clear signal, not just to Washington but to Kremlin, that Europe can't decide for itself. That's why this moment feels bigger. Manfred Weber, leader of the European People's Party, put it bluntly. The United States is no longer the leader of the free world. Trump's latest national security strategy openly supports Euro-skeptic forces, and Russia, watching closely, sees opportunity in division. Some EU leaders now talk about using qualified majority voting to push the deal through, a nuclear option that could fracture the bloc even further. Ukraine needs the money, Europe needs unity, and this summit will show whether Brussels still decides Europe's future or whether Washington does. Because the EU's problem is in Belgium. It's whether Europe can stand together when its closest ally starts pulling it apart. Thank you for watching. For more such deep dives, follow Geopolitical Navigator.